An antique, call it an heirloom, a beautiful grandfather clock passed down from my grandmother. Her mother gave it to her, and her mother before that, and even hers before that. I've no idea just how old it is. Ancient, I would say, but this beautiful handmade piece of familial antiquity is more than just a clock. It's a warning system. With each chime, I shudder, I close my eyes, and swallow hard. Why? You want to know why? Very well, I will tell you. You see, this isn't your average clock. Let me see if I can give you a few examples. There's so many I could choose from, but let's start with Aunt Eunice, shall we? Aunt Eunice was a sweet, round woman with long dark hair and gentle, loving eyes. She was never prone to sleepwalking, but that night she got out of bed dead asleep in her thin white gown and fuzzy slippers. She walked down the stairs, these stairs, you see, and walked out of the front door, right out into the middle of the road, and she just stood there. Waiting for what, you say? Well, for a car to come along and hit her. What else? And inevitably, it did. Lord, what a mess. Poor Aunt Eunice spent ages in the hospital. There was a while there that none of us had hope. We were so sure she would die. But tough old gal pulled through it, spent the rest of her life without legs. She was a 13. What's a 13? Well, a 13 is the clock chime. It happens once a year. The clock strikes 13 and disaster strikes some member of the family here. We never know who, and we never know why or how. We just know 13. Now, where was I? Oh, yes, poor Aunt Eunice. Let's see, I guess another good example would be Grandpa Gordon. Grandpa Gordon was a tall, gangly man, your typical curmudgeon, rotten old mummy fart of a man. Hated everyone and everything. Ever since Granny Iris passed, he was just unbearable, but regardless, we all loved him. He woke up that morning, no different than any other. We all heard it, and we all stood there, still and silent, hoping it was simply 12. But alas, we heard the scream from upstairs and ran to see what had happened. Grandpa Gordon was smothered in a shower curtain, wrapped up in it so tight it looked as though it were crushing him. He suffocated. Suffocated. What a horrible way to die. Everyone that came in afterwards simply said he fell out of the shower and got tangled up, his old rickety limbs unable to free himself. But we all knew Grandpa Gordon was a 13. And there was Cousin Jacob. He was a decent enough fellow, if a little slow. Never changed his clothes. I swear he wore that same damn shirt and those same damned overalls every day. Smelled like a doghouse and ate like he lived in one. Nice guy and sweet as can be. You can imagine the shock when it happened to him. He was working outside, doing his everyday chores. Nothing different happened that day, except for the clock. We heard the scream, but we were all frozen. We knew. We ran outside, and sure enough, there was Jacob, the razor wire fence wrapped around his neck, At that point, his head was barely attached, maybe a bit of bone left to hold him together. They said he died instantly, but we heard the scream. There was nothing instant about it. Jacob was a 13. Why not destroy it, you say? Well, we have tried. Generation after generation has tried to get rid of this damnable death chime. But no matter what we do, it always ends up right here, almost like it's mocking us. No, this clock, it won't ever go away. Burning, smashing, crushing, even running the damn thing over. No dice. It's always standing right here when we get back. And, as you can imagine, once it was just me left here, it was only a matter of time before I was the next to go. When it happened, I almost didn't realize. The whole place just began falling in on me. Everything hit me so hard. Falling on me, crushing me. Something impaled me, damned if I know what. I could feel my bones being ground into dust. I felt skin all over my body bursting open from the pressure. I couldn't move. I was in so much pain. I survived a few days, I think, but after a while I had to let go. I gave up. I guess I was a 13 too. Why do you have that look on your face? Did I say something upsetting? The house is fine, you say. Oh, look around you, friend. You're standing in a pile of rubble. I know it looked perfectly normal before, but that's what we want it to look like. It wouldn't be very good hosts if everyone saw the mess, would we? But that's off topic. The point I'm trying to make is, you don't want to buy this clock. One, it's been in the family for ages, and two, as long as it's here in this house, no one else can get hurt. And the clock begins to chime. 8, 9, 10. Oh dear. 11, 12. Well, friend, it looks like you'll be joining our little family here. 13.